Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another great day here on the Policing Pips live stream. I'll be your host, as always. Get my coffee in, ready to go. Pretty much what we have from yesterday is the NVIDIA earnings came in good with a slightly negative tinge to forward guidance, which kind of created this sell-off that we had. If we want to go into what time that was, about 15:20. So this sell-off from where we are, basically sitting just above, down into lows here was also, I would call the low of the day, probably somewhere up in the range here. But we are going to use the low of that that spike down on that earnings. We did end up gapping down right into that previous day low again on reopen. So we recovered some of that, started to stair step up, and then gap down. We gave a little bit of a flush, tried to push lower, and then we have been basically bid straight up the rest of the entire overnight session. So opening with a push back up, recovered that entire NVIDIA move. We're going to wait and see what kind of price action we get here. We could get a first initial rejection of that overnight high, but if NVIDIA kind of cracks that 122.30 level, it may start to squeeze us up, and then previous day highs will probably come into play, and we can see, 522 for us is an interesting area, 522 up to 583 and 610, where price could be drawn to. There is that overhead resistance on this little downtrend that we've been having. This price action's pretty clean straight upside, so not really going to be totally sold on a reversal right off the jump. So we'll wait and see what's going to happen here. About 30 seconds left to open. Hopefully everybody has a good trading session. Just be patient. Don't do dumb shit, all that fun stuff, and let's make some money. I left my sweatshirt in the other room, so I'm going to rock cold for a little bit. Both the S&Ps and the NQ right around that overnight high, right? So we are going to have the confluence here to see what is each of these are doing, right? About to open. A lot of times I catch these on that first little bit, that first open, but you are getting that third touch kind of that 500 level. So 500 could give up. I don't see any huge size over there. We are now open and ready to go. So here's our opening range starting to be established here, right around that 500 number. Like I said, could reject 500 right away, but we'll see. Let's let this thing dance around. NVIDIA's selling off from here, right immediately on open, so might not give us an opportunity to get in at the overnight high. 500 might be that key level, but we'll let it dance. Let it dance. You are getting this upward trend support here, right? From lows, if you really wanted to kind of be kind of tight with it. There's a couple dips below, but that's pretty close to what we're looking at here. If that starts to breach, then you may get that cascade effect back down to VWAP at least from that 500 level. So I'll watch that level. Looks like it's acted as support right there. We're going to have the opening range be kind of tight. Wow, nice and tight. It is not that tight, actually. It's 127 ticks. So it just feels tight because we're not zoomed in. I want to see a fail of this overnight high, get me some sellers involved. Like I said, I'm going to try and take 2 to the sell side, but I want the S&Ps to get up there as well, so I don't want to go there yet. I'm going to wait a second because NVIDIA is also starting to push straight up. Pushing. Give me that S&P number up over there. Because I think that we could dance around this overnight high level here, come back into 500, trap me at this overnight high and go. So if I'm going to be more patient, I may wait if this does fail that breakout and rotate back the other direction. I need this S&Ps to get up to its overnight high to give me that indication of, all right, we may reject or we may not, because NVIDIA is going straight up. Like I said, 522 is a good area for it to break and push up higher into 583 would be the next area where that support level was for the previous few sessions. And then we have that overhead resistance, which kind of coincides with 583. So 583, previous day high, all of that lines up with the resistance. So if we can come crashing down through here, that'd be nice if NVIDIA decides to sell off from this level where we're at right now. But I said if we squeeze through 122.30, which we are doing right now, then potentially NVIDIA has some legs to go to the upside to kind of recover what happened in the earnings call. So I don't have a trade on that right there, but I will take this if it comes back down through here. What are they trying? That is a nice little squeeze. Push right up into that area. Like I said, 583.50 would be interesting. I don't know if we get all the way to previous day highs, but I could imagine that we do. Based on the way NVIDIA is going straight up, we found that support again on that trend to the upside. May want to even wait for that trend line to crack. That red line down on the bottom, if you are looking for shorts and anything that's going to recover. 610 is the base of that gap from contract to contract. So 610 is where I've been interested all this time. So that's the base of the contract gap up to 760, right? 760, 677 is midway. And S&P's has yet to get to that overnight high. NVIDIA is just going straight up, looking to get completely up over that pre-market high, which is pre-market high is 124.15, and it's at 123.56, 123.64 currently. I wanted to see this go long, but I wanted to have it not do it that quickly. So just kind of based on the way NVIDIA recovered, based on the way NASDAQ recovered after that earnings call, leading into September 18th, I still believe that we try to push into all-time highs with the rate cuts. The data that we got this morning from 7:30 kind of still confirming what the Fed wants to see. So 583.50 right here. We're at that level right now, right at that breakout point for the overhead resistance on that downtrend right here. If you want to look at that chart there, you can see that overhead resistance right here, right through 600, right through the previous day high. So straight up, if you caught that long, good for you, because I was not looking to play a breakout, although we could have played the breakout waiting for the S&Ps to get to that overnight high. And now right now it's rejecting overnight highs. NVIDIA's playing with pre-market highs, and it's pushing straight up again, straight through that pre-market high at 124.14, 124.15, and now failing it a little bit. So let's see if we get this previous day high to play with us a little bit. 610 maybe plays for a little bit of a rejection. What number do I want? 583, 582. Give me some sort of setup up here. Then I'll look to say if I can short it or not. There is an aggressive seller stepping in. We do have 550 with a high volume node. Still have a little bit of ways to that upper band of VWAP up at like 630s, so I wouldn't be totally sure of a short yet. I'm not trying to get in front of this, screaming to the upside. NVIDIA is still looking to continue up. I'm going to see if NVIDIA will turn. That's a nice little move. I still feel like there's buyers here. Decent size on the time and sales. 20, 20, 15, 15, 60-something contracts there. 70 contracts plus probably a few smaller fills in between. So probably 100 contracts getting filled right here. So a decent amount getting filled still on the bid. People still hitting the bid. I don't know where I put my phone down. There we go. That's why I wait. I don't want to just enter at these levels. All right, NVIDIA's starting to curl. Previous day high is curling. I'm going to try my sell here at, I'm going to try 2 there. See if I can get at least 1 off and then 1. I'm going to shrink this down to 1 contract here. Limit by 1 at 82. Okay, I got 1 off and I have break even now. So I want to see if I can roll over some more. Let's see if I can get this going, baby. Nice little short. Up over 80. If we can get and hold through 80, I can be safe and I'm out. All right. Nice little quick 339.40 on that trade there. Very good. Clean move. Rejection from that level based on NVIDIA trying to pull back some from pre-market highs based on this kind of breaching that overhead trend line resistance and then coming right back down to it. Do I think I trust this to continue down to the downside? No. I could have been quicker with that trail down to 80 a little bit more, but even then I kind of want to allow this to just, give that rollover a chance. NVIDIA is still strong. I don't think you should be getting in front of the train while it's running down these tracks right now. I took that short. I thought it was a good idea. You got to be quick with it. You got to be able to be in, be out, get your stuff, see when it's going to kind of turn, see when it's going to move, and just kind of move on to that next trade. Right. I do think 550 would be a nice little area of interest. The delta is still pretty heavy, so 580 holding to the downside. Maybe we can get another push and breach above this high up to 610. I think we can push up to 610 again and then fail that previous day high. Then I'll look for another one. I like the short there, Abby. It was good. I think anything around that 80 mark is going to give you a good idea. I'm up now 340 here. A nice little good continuation and pushing this account back to the upside. I was on the wrong account. It doesn't really matter. I'm trying to pass both of these combines, so it doesn't truly matter. I could have got that on this account and been up a little bit more. So we're switching back to this one. The other one's up now. We're going to switch over here. Yeah, morning move was really nice. Basically from the overnight low, I was considering that on if we got the gap fill. I was going to look for the gap fill, honestly, on reopen last night. And I just brought myself back to not doing dumb shit, sticking to my A+ strategy, coming around here only when I'm going to be trading, right? Good opportunities to my strategy. So until I pass again and get myself back into maximum funding, I'm going to seriously stick to what I got going on. And that is being patient. But I do like those pre-market moves that happened, even some of that. You can see this big delta divergence. Look at that big seller. There is actually somebody sitting up above at like the 600 mark again. So they may get filled up there. The fake 4K, love it. All right, so that's a nice little retest of the area. I think we can get another short opportunity from this if we get it to hold, maybe breach 610. Give us a higher high, but like with a little bit of volume, like a wick off high. And then I will look to short. See if I can use these hotkeys. See if I can get them going. Rejected it twice. S&P is still kind of pushing up towards that overnight high again. I don't know if I trust it again for a short quite yet. NVIDIA is catching a little bit of a bounce at 122.30, 122.80, looking to breach back above 123. Yeah, I mean, I like your ideas. I like what you got going on. I think we need to be a little bit more patient. I think 83.50 is that point that we should be, worried about. It looks like it's good. I like this rejection of previous day highs, not wanting to breach back above previous day highs. NVIDIA is starting to get heavy again. I need to take a look at Microsoft, see what Microsoft's doing. Microsoft's going straight up. See, that's the concern. Now that NVIDIA had its earnings yesterday and whatnot, it's concerning for me to see if the attachment's still stuck to NVIDIA or if we're going to detach or recorrelate with Apple. Are we going to recorrelate with Microsoft? Seems like it's still directly correlated to NVIDIA. So we are getting, Microsoft is starting to curl as well. So I'm going to watch this trend line break, that 480 for this account. The other account, we took one trade. We're good. We're up right now, currently 340 basically. That was a good short. Good job. I would have liked this short again. I wanted to see this come up one more time for me to take that short, but it just didn't pop. I liked everything about it. The delta divergence was good, right? You're still getting heavier delta. Price is not following along. 520, there is a 100 contract sitting at 520. 100 contracts sitting at 520 right below us. So if it draws here and magnet you get a pull to 520, you may get that breach of the overnight high and then see what happens from there. I don't trust longs. I don't, I think that we do have some push to the downside. I think people are just looking for reasons to sell, to be honest. I think NVIDIA yesterday absolutely blew it out of the water. Still just one of the most powerful, most profitable companies in the world, and still reported good earnings. I think it just reported a little bit bad of a guide. And even then, that report probably gives them an opportunity to beat again next quarter and just provide them more opportunity to continue their growth. They just want to revise down and keep expectations a bit lower. I think that that's really more so the case than anything, them thinking that they cannot make triple-digit returns year over year once again, which it's possible that they can do it, but just knowing who they've sold to, what kind of products they've got going on and all that, that's kind of just my 2 cents on it. I think we still have that rate cut driver in the back of our head. If we can get above 610 and push up into that range there, 677, and then above to 760. 760 is going to be that point. Remember, I write in all of my write-ups and everything I've been talking about, 610 is that bullish, bearish line in the sand for me the last few weeks. If we hold below 610, the bears are still in control. If we get back above 610 and start to breach through 760, then all-time highs do come into play before that rate cut decision comes in. But right now, we've been holding below 610, and it's showing us a bit of weakness, a bit of fear in the market, slightly, holding below 610, holding below that area where we would want to be selling from. Everything below 610 is a short, and I liked that a lot. That 610 tag right there. I drew that up before, and it worked again. You could see it working time and time again. My levels aren't made up. They do work. They are visible for you all to see at all times. I always have them there. I draw them. I talk about them over and over and over again. My write-ups, if you go to my write-ups every week, pretty much the same levels kind of get hammered on until we get out of those zones. Abby's got a lot of executions. Big executioner. I'm going to call you the executioner. Abby the executioner. Just crushing trades. S&P is heavy. NVIDIA is lower. Hey, I'll take 500 per trade. That'd be great. I'll only take 1 trade a day, though. Maybe 2. So Microsoft is diverging now from NVIDIA. Microsoft's going straight on up, looking to push up into 419.25. It's right now at 418. So I think overhead resistance for Microsoft is that next 419. NVIDIA also now catching a bid, so watch out. Looking for those bounce plays here. Now you can see between the two, NQ is pushing up and NVIDIA and S&P is pushing downside. Which is going to win this little bit of a battle here? I don't know if I trust the upside quite yet. You do have a heavy delta. Russell's creeping down, S&P's is creeping down, Dow Jones is creeping down, and the NQ is still relatively strong. So I think maybe the shorts still come in. I think, with NVIDIA now pushing up again, Microsoft pushing up again, that's what's giving you the relative strength in NQ. I need to see this below overnight highs, right? Below and into this zone here for me to get that next area of a short interest, right? I would love to follow this through, maybe get a nice clean break. That size is not on the books, or I can't see that deep in the depth of market currently. 520 had 100 contracts sitting right at 520. So if it got drawn there and pulls through, then you're good. I think it's still, yes, it's back and forth, but I do think it's clean. The price action is telling. It's still giving you a story to kind of read off of. The overhead resistance is at 83. That trend line for that downtrend, we're sitting at it right now, right here. So if it does breach this and start to get through the highs with some gusto, I think 700 comes in pretty quick. But like I said, Microsoft's going pretty much straight up. NVIDIA is dancing around with the pre-market high level, like kind of playing with it. It's at 123 right now, 122.97, 122.95. And now it's pushing up through 123. Expect this break of 610 to give you a squeeze to 700 or at least to 677. If not, if we get a failed break of 610, I'm going to take the short through previous day high again. But I want to see it breach 610 to come back down. There is a number in 5 minutes. We have pending home sales, which is a 2-star event, may move algos. So I would like to be flat for that movement as well. Yesterday I made the mistake at 8:58 or 8:57. I took the trade right before that hourly close, and that's part of my rules. I broke my rule. Today I'm not doing that. I'm going to be more focused on my timing, not doing dumb shit, getting out here, making sure I do everything the way I like to do it correctly, and not just this is at 9. Yeah, I can wait till 9. So we have about 5 minutes or so till I can't execute. So I could take this trade if I see it breach through 610 and give me like a volume break. And then if it's going to break out, it should not come back down below previous day highs, right? You would think that that's going to reject 600 key level, right? You're going to get a nice squeeze, push straight through 610, right up to 6, maybe even 677 pretty fast. NVIDIA and Microsoft both showing strength. Microsoft making new highs. Everything is just new high of day. NVIDIA is still trying to, attack that pre-market high. This should never come back down through here. So if it does come back down through here, we should take the short. Let's do it on the actual account that I want to take it on. Should not come back down through previous day highs. If it does come down through previous day highs, something has happened, right? This should not come back. If we are going to continue to have a trend, a breakout type day, this will push up straight to, like I said, probably 677, 700. That's the area of interest. If it's going to reject, I'm going to take it down. Buy and trail for sure if you're looking for that. I think NVIDIA is going to catch a bid at some point. I don't think that this should come back through this level. So I'm going to take the short here, and I'm going to see what happens. So it should not have came back through there, right? Got to be quick with it. Buy one. All right. Got stopped at even there. Probably should have held it because I think it's going to get heavy. But it is what it is. Because I am up on the other one, and I wanted to catch a little bit more here. That's going to be nice and heavy. Really good short opportunity there. If I can get back above it, I'll probably try and take that again. I was trying to work on taking one off right around here, but I hit the wrong key. It's all good. Not that I hit the wrong key. I just didn't have the hotkeys set for one contract. Still getting used to the top step hotkeys and stuff like that. But overall, that was what I expected out of this. And really nice move. That should have been it. That should have been the trade right there. So I trailed it out a little too quick trying to work with those hotkeys. And it happens. It is what it is. But that's what I was looking for there for that short. So if you caught that short there, I'm very happy for you. If you're still in it, you could probably be mitigating. 2 contracts already netted you 1,500 on that probably if you held 2. Yeah, took it at 571. Short or long? Yeah, a little late on the 571. That's where I would have liked to have taken one off. But I think there's still downside potential to it. Just be careful with NVIDIA because NVIDIA keeps catching a bid around the upper band of VWAP where it's at right now. And Microsoft is selling from 419, but it's dancing around. Now it's catching up. Looking like it wants to get strong again. So you may dance around this zone for a bit. It could keep going down, but I don't know if I trust that 71. Well, I'm glad you caught that again because both of those were beautiful shorts. Really, I never took any heat on anything. Not at all. I should have never been trailed out of this one here. This was just me trying to work those hotkeys and clicking the wrong side of it, but still up on the day here with these accounts. So I have this one up very close to what this one is. We're trying to just grow them steadily across the next couple days, try to get back to green and funded and consistently executing only our good A+ executions. Now NVIDIA is turning downside. I will look to enter again through overnight highs if I could get there. 83s, I said, is that I'll go with NQ1 here, and I'll go to 30-minute chart. And I'll show you this chart here. This is what I was looking at, right? 610 rejecting that zone, rejecting that 583, that upper end of that channel, that downtrend that we've been kind of working with. So if we can rotate down through this 522 area, I think we can start to get the sellers to come in. If NVIDIA decides to give it up, we should be happy to see that. Microsoft still pushing upside, though, right at that key structure level. It could reject here, but I don't know if it will. Microsoft is relatively strong. You know, I feel like it is holding us up, especially with NVIDIA kind of just dancing around over that 123, 122.30 level. So overall, we're up about 400 on two trades. Probably should have been up a bit more on both. Trailed out a little tight on that one. I wanted to re-enter this one. Trying to be a little bit quicker, a little bit more aggressive on some of these plays. Microsoft's still making new highs, so that's going to keep us holding up relatively strong as opposed to some of these other names. Do we have a delta divergence in any sense? We are trying to make new highs. Aggressive buyers coming in here in delta, but there's not aggressive buying on price. I talked about that 550 level. It has been acting as support. It is a high volume node. There's not a big order sitting there currently, but the most orders have been executed at that level. Dow Jones is catching a bit. Russell's catching a little bit of a bounce as well. So we may continue up. I know Abby says that she thinks it's going to go down. I think it could go down as well, but also looks like it wants to break out to the high side just based on the strength of Microsoft, based on NVIDIA holding the bid a little bit. If you could start to see NVIDIA curl back down with some strength, then we will go down. We just kind of have to be reactive. It's hard to say, I think this, I think that, because it's going to do whatever it wants when it decides to do it. Allow the setups to kind of keep coming into play. I will take the short again if it decides to go up over 610, 620 and come back down through previous day highs. There's no reason for it to be doing that. So I will short those plays that way and then see if I could hold it a little longer. Like I said, this one should have been a little bit more. Should have been able to capture a bit more on that one. That was just my bad on that. But overall, I think realistically, we've been doing a good job of playing with this zone, playing with this level. I would like it to be short, but I need help from NVIDIA and I need help from Microsoft. Some of these other things are starting to bounce and hold up a little bit better, like NVIDIA. I mean, like the Russell, like the Dow Jones. You are now getting an aggressive seller. There's an aggressive buyer. There they go. See you later. Nice little pop on that aggressive buyer. You saw that pop in, right? That was a really aggressive buyer. Big size got filled there at 638. So that's what I said about being careful on the downside. That was showing its hand a little bit for that upside potential. Now I think we have true buyers stepping in there. That was a really big size that got filled. All of these contracts that are getting filled right now are very large size contracts looking to push this market either upside or they're filling to try and dump it off. So like I mentioned, if that's the case, if it does come back down through previous day highs, I will sell too again. But that's only if this comes back down through here, because it really shouldn't. On that kind of really strong buying pressure, all of those orders getting filled there, it should not come back down through. It is 81% long in the tilt. 81% long in the tilt. I don't trust that to continue on. My previous day high is 596.50. Oh, actually, we had to wait till. Oh no, that's wrong. My bad. I don't know why. Why did it get moved again? That's funny. It was up here. Previous day high is up overhead more, but we've been playing with that level nicely. So I think that was 2 days ago. I don't know why that moved. Sometimes it gets moved. Well, I got lucky playing with that level then. That was really the 610 level playing. E31. Yeah, that's really where we're at there. All good. Still playing nicely with it. Good thing I was playing with the 610 level. Yeah, I think there we go. That got sometimes my top step levels get a little messed up. It like dances. If I switch off screens, it like goes back to a different location. But it worked out because of the 610 level mainly. Nvidia is now pushing down. Microsoft straight up. Nvidia curling downside of the channel or downside of the little wedge pattern it's got going on. Trying to see any size down below. Does this give that indication of will it come back down below here or not? Does it want to reject 610? I don't have a clear direction. There's never a clear direction to me. Microsoft has the potential to snap down at 420, 421. This is what I talk about when it comes to some of that manipulation that occurs to get people long or short. 74% long, 81% long. Anytime when the tilt gets really long retail wise, I mean, I think it's clearly long right now, right? It's clearly upside. However, what kind of trades do you have is the question, because is this going to be now a snap manipulation to the high side, or are we going to start to catch a trend based on, now that we've gotten the NVIDIA news out of the way and going into the rate cut decision, is this what's going to push that bid up? I said 677, right, was going to be that ultimate high before it decides to make a change. So 677 is right here. 680 probably comes into play. All right, there's a housing market number coming out. Negative 5.5 pending home sales. So home sales came in negative. I don't think that's good. 80, there's that 77 that got touched. Do we get a failure of this previous day high now because of that number? What's this delta? Pushing straight up. 680, 677 got touched, right? 680, right in that area. Could rotate back down to 610. I will fade my previous day highs on that failed breakout type idea. If it does decide to come back. If it doesn't, then I will. I like the long at 670 through up into 700. I like the failed break as well for my idea here to kind of just rotate us back to 610 potentially. I'm going to not take one off. I'm going to look to maybe I'll go to one. Yeah. I want to see a failure of this level. Order filled. I'm in on 2 to see if I can get this short to go. If it's not going to go, it's going to snap me out and then run downside, probably. But S&P is trying to reject it. NVIDIA is rolling over, so maybe it gives me a little bit of help here. I can get to even kind of quick on this, or at least 2. Yeah, I'm going to get to even on that sort of quick and see if we can roll this all the way down to 610. There we go. Nice little heaviness. Bam. Let's get it. Come on now. All the way over. Failed at overnight high. Give it to me, baby. Give me 1550. Let's go. Boom, right there. 1500. Well, 1600. Made too much money on that. Let's get it. That's how you play that failure right there. Waiting for your timing, waiting for it, waiting for it, waiting for it, get it, and then move on to the next trade. Let's go. Good stuff. Good stuff right there. Got to lock out. I don't care if I made too much. I'm going to lock that one out. I will now I have to make a little bit more money tomorrow, which is not a big deal because I'm only couple $80, $89 away from passing now that it's 100. So I got to probably make $200-$300 tomorrow for this to pass, which is good. I'll take that positive slippage any day of the week. Give it to me. Hopefully you saw it. Hopefully everybody was able to kind of see what I was thinking, talking through what I wanted to get out of that trade there. That was very nice. 2 contracts right to 610 or even 620 realistically. Thinking that 677 level was going to fail, that midpoint between 610 and 790 or 760. If that point was going to fail, it was also reactive for the previous week. So we do have that confluence there. NVIDIA started to roll over, which gave me the confidence to hold that short just a bit longer, not to get to even too quickly. And then once NVIDIA broke through 122.30, its downside potential keeps going. So we're going to switch back over to this account and see if we can maybe find something for it. This is exactly what we like to see when it comes to failed breakouts, right? I don't need to catch a huge pull all the way down to, other end of it. The possibility is there, and I think our entries do allow for that if you can bear some of the, the ups and downs through the way down, because most of the time when you find the failed break of either a previous day high or a previous day low, overnight high, overnight low, if it rejects that, it wants to find the other end of that to see if it wants to make a new high or a new low. So that's why this entry is good for if you are looking to maybe have a bigger risk, but a longer time horizon hold for the whole remainder of the day is kind of these kind of entries that you're looking to get, because usually it'll move quick in your direction. You can get 1 or 2 off or your whole contract's off and then trail as you move throughout the day, right? If you take one off, you leave to even, then if you can get this to keep going down through 610, you would think the sellers come in all the way to maybe this area here. If 610 holds, then you can run it up. Let's see, gold. I'm not a gold trader, but let's see what gold looks like. Oh, yeah, gold looking very top heavy here. There was a big wicking candle here at 730, looking like it's a good short idea, like Abby said. I don't have long-term levels here on gold. Let me pull it up on my trading view. I do have them on there. We held a key structure level of 25.44, pushed kind of down through it and then recovered it. The only thing I'd be careful of is that, it is pushing towards these all-time high levels again. 25.6320. Everything that we do here is pretty scalpy anyway. So like I said, it doesn't really matter where it goes throughout the day. I don't care if the market's all the way up, all the way down. Doesn't bother me. I just look for moves that I can capitalize on, like the one I just showed you, right? That one's a good move right there. Trying to analyze gold. I don't have a really good relationship with gold. Me and gold haven't got together very much. And I try to trade gold on overnight stuff. It's a lot of times what I look to do when I'm working on other types of strategies, other types of ideas. I like these levels. So those are interesting for gold. And then obviously this key bottom. So what are we looking at here? You're looking at, this is 15 second. Damn, I thought I went out to 15 minute. Very chopped. But those are still good. Maybe this one pulls down a bit. This is more like it there. Also, those home sale numbers came out super negative. There's no reason for a big run up. So looking for that failed breakout previous day high is really great. So here's a 15-minute chart. I can see the scalp that you saw there kind of rejecting that level. I don't know how gold reacts as much as I know how NQ reacts around levels. It seems pretty clean. Back to 1700. Got lucky today, Zuka-san. Got lucky. But guess what? If you're in Top Step X, there's this lockout button right here. You could click that thing, right? This one's locked out. I'm locked out. I'm not clicking any more buttons. I made pretty much one good trade on this account here. I made a break even on the first one. Should have been done on that one, but the second one we got a nice clean move. I think Zuki just got to click that lockout button. If you don't have a lockout button, if you're trading in TradeOvate, if you're trading on NinjaTrader, if you're trading on Quant Tower, find a way to get yourself to walk away from the computer. If you're up a certain dollar amount, if you're down a certain dollar amount, find your edge in what that is, where those points are for you, and then just make that decision when it comes down to it, right? It's that don't do dumb shit mentality. It's hard. It's very hard because trading is like, when you're up 1,800, you're like, all right, what are your goals? Like, what are you looking for today? How much more do you think you can make? What kind of opportunities are out there? Is today a better opportunity than yesterday? Yeah, probably. I mean, I definitely think it was better opportunities today. Very clean moves off of reactive levels for me personally. And obviously, for you too, because you were up 18, you went down 200, but then back up 17 because you just took your calculator risk. So even though you say you got lucky, it seems like the way you did it, obviously green to red to green. Now that you're green from that mistake, even though you're down 100 from your high, I think you should lock it out because you're not mentally prepared for what's to come next if you were to do it again and go negative, right? So trying to understand, especially if you're in a funded account, if you're in an XFA, if you're in a live funded, if you're in your own personal account, I think even in a combine, right? Lock yourself out. Get yourself just like all right, I did a good thing this morning. I did something. I made a mistake, oversized loss, and now I'm back to where I should be, down $100 from my top. If I want to really keep clicking buttons, I switch over to micros, do like one micro, and just, feel the power of the button click. Yes, it's going to not feel as good because you're going to see, $100 instead of $1,000. But you know what it is? It is, at the end of the day, it's all about preserving capital for tomorrow. And speaking of tomorrow, unfortunately, it's a very sad day in the history of where I work. One of the longtime chiefs died after he retired, so we have a funeral service for him. So I'm going to be off stream for Friday. It is still August. It is still summer months. It's the last week of August, last Friday in the summer. You can find opportunities. I'm sure it's going to be lower liquidity. There is information. There are data points that come out tomorrow morning, like the PCE and personal income. But last Friday we saw the moves happen and kind of volatility fizzled, and so did the volume, right? So coming into September next week, I mean, a lot of people are going to be starting to come back into markets next week. So they're going to take their last 3-day weekend. They're going to take Labor Day. They're going to do all this stuff to really not do a whole lot. And then I think Monday is going to be shortened hours. So we will be on stream. We'll be doing what we need to do. But if you are trading Top Step or any other funding company, just note that there are usually hours. Let's see, Top Step, Labor Day trading hours. I like this. I created this yesterday. I think that's pretty neat. Let's see. Here we go. Here are our holiday trading hours for Monday, 9/2. If you're in combines, you got to close before 12 o'clock. Okay, make sure you close before 12. You can get back into regular trading after 5 o'clock because that counts for Tuesday. Everything but live funded is closed at 12. So if you're in an XFA, 12 o'clock, I would just enjoy your Labor Day. Try not to trade. I'll probably be on stream just because it's I feel like being responsible for you guys and helping you out. But make sure you are aware of these rules because these could breach your rules and you could lose a funded account. So I would, if you're in funded, I would just not trade on Monday. Labor Day, people are partying. It's just not worth the effort. I will be at work. So, it is what it is anyway. But just note these times. They do a good job. I think Top Step is good by letting you know when the market's going to be a shortened market hours, when it's not going to be shortened market hours. Like all these things make a lot of sense. I'm going to save this for my write-up for Sunday. Okay. So we have that. If 610 can hold and start to rotate us through the high of the day, you may see follow through to the upside. Getting back to NVIDIA, it has kind of found support at the lower band of VWAP. it's not really strong, but it's not really as weak as it showed yesterday during earnings. I think NVIDIA is still one of the top companies out there. I think a lot of people will start to pour back into it. I don't think you're going to get a huge melt off in it. If it was going to melt, it was going to melt overnight, all through, gap down, continue on. It could continue to buy and sell through these kind of key levels that it's in within this range between like 120, 119, 30 and up to 125. But I would not expect huge moves coming out of it. But however, my other thought on this is if 610 does not hold in the NQ, you'll get a rejection. Let me see what S&Ps are doing. You'll get a rejection of 610 to rotate you down to possibly those overnight highs, and then watch for this uptrend that's been formed all night for sellers to kind of start to pour in. That is the VWAP, kind of target will end up being at that area too. So that's going to be a supportive area. Could that be where the buyers step in right here? Just got to think about these things when you're actually looking to execute good trades, right? If you're looking for this to break down and create some opportunities for you, I think just be mindful of these numbers, these areas, these zones, and then have a thesis of what may happen around this level here. What comes of it when it gets to that area? Who's going to think about buying here? Who's thinking about selling here? Who's at that position where they need to either liquidate or they're taking profits, right? Like there's things that need to happen for the market to make these kind of moves. And if you're looking for buyers, where are you going to find those buyers? It's probably likely at those key structure levels, right? Because the most interest is at these areas. And it's not a coincidence that this is where it keeps bouncing. It's not a coincidence that this 610 level is reactive. It's because of the interest that's been shown here, right? And also 600 is a nice round number. So 10 points away from 600 isn't like a crazy thought. Microsoft's still showing strength. It's still holding up this NASDAQ. NVIDIA's rolling downside, but catching bids every time it hits off on that lower band of VWAP at 120.80 something, 121. So all these round numbers, it's kind of catching bounces. If this ends up being the high of the day, watch out for the roll through 610 down to overnight highs, and then watch for the breach of VWAP if it does happen. If not, strength comes back in. You can rotate and expand through previous day highs. If you do that, 760 should be an interesting area for you to watch. So 760 should be a good point of interest, which is the upper area of that gap where that gap happened for the contract roll. And then everything above 760 becomes very bullish. So in between 610 and 760, you're going to get a little bit of sideways, a little bit of reaction in between each way. Above 760 is very bullish. Below 610 is bearish. What's up, Jofi? How we doing, kid? Welcome back. It's good to see you in here. I know you weren't in the boot camp. I didn't see you commenting. So, passed an account yesterday. Well done. I'm $80 from passing this one here, so we're good. Well done. I like the idea of take that past account, trade it in September. August is shit. But obviously, we're finishing up August on a positive note here, looking to kind of capitalize on these moves. This account is close. Like I said, $80. I am breached kind of my max win for the day on that. So I will have to make a little more than $80 tomorrow, but we'll see what happens. I'm not going to go for any specific target. I'm just going to take the good A+ setup if it comes. Like I mentioned, I do have to go to a funeral tomorrow, so won't be on stream. It is a police funeral, so it's a full day kind of thing. Short here makes some sense, right? If you can break and hold through this, and NVIDIA is still selling, and Microsoft's getting some heaviness, you should be able to start to rotate and target down into these overnight highs, into that support level that overnight session has created. You're going to rotate through VWAP, watch the S&Ps, see if it'll breach through overnight highs. If it gets down through overnight highs, that should give you confidence to keep holding this sell side pressure. NVIDIA is still heavy. I'm trying to give you that update. It's hunting for low of the day. Low of the day in NVIDIA is 119.68, and it's just about there. It's at 119.85, 88, 95. It's bouncing around, but it's looking heavy. You're still safe in this short until S&P's kind of cracks and starts to snap up. So I think you're good. You're still all right. Looks like a good short. You know, if you're going to let it play, let it play. If not, potentially a bounce location for NVIDIA at the low of the day. If S&Ps can hold below that overnight high, you should get a snap to the downside. If it holds the overnight high and starts to rotate back up towards that green line, then you may get stopped on this on a retest and then a break back down potentially. But it looks like it's still heavy. NVIDIA is looking to crack low of the day. There it goes. NVIDIA broke low of the day. You're safe in this short right now. There you go. Still good. Still good on your short to hold it. I like it. Good job. I know you are in and out. That's good. I think this still has a lot of downside to it. I think if you can get through this overnight high here because of the way S&Ps is working, the way NVIDIA is heavier, the way Microsoft's heavier, I think you can definitely look to see if this overnight high holds or if it breaks. I mean, if you have good risk to reward parameters and you take your profits, I'm never going to be mad at you. I trail out quick all the time. So like I said, there are people that look to hold. There's people that look to scalp out. I'm more on the scalpy end. I'm just trying to give you that positive reinforcement in your trade idea to give you the opportunity to kind of make as much as you can. It's not my trade idea. It's yours. You manage it how you see fit. I just think that, okay, NVIDIA now looking like it wants to bounce off 119.39. It's recovering low of the day, but dancing with it. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. I think you did a good job. Maybe if you did, yeah, that's exactly right. Like there's not a lot of follow through. Like I said, it's a weird type of day. Hell yeah, locking out, baby. Good job, Zuki. Good job. You're still up 1,700 with that lockout. I mean, this is a clear cut, right? Failure of 610, failure of 610. Once you breach back down below 600, if you crack through this little rising wedge type thing, you should get a reaction just like that, especially if you're getting help from the Mag 7 equities, right? Especially the top two here, NVIDIA and Microsoft. I don't even look at Apple anymore because Apple has been so detached from the NASDAQ. It's just going to have been sideways today anyway. So Microsoft has been so strong today. That's the only thing that's really been holding this up, I think, for the most part. I don't know what's going on with Meta or Google or any of these other names. Meta, Amazon. Yeah. The only thing holding up the market right now is Microsoft, as far as the NQ is concerned, because NVIDIA here, this is NVIDIA pushing down, now found support at a key structure level that I was talking about, 119.39. Good job on taking your profits down there. That was an excellent call. This is Microsoft, been straight up since even pre-market, that 412 area, where I love that 412 area for Microsoft to act as either support or resistance. So it was like a springboard here, pushed straight up, and now we're just kind of consolidating at these highs. If Microsoft gives up that 419.27, that quarter area starts to melt down, I think NVIDIA also starts to roll down some more, and then you'll see the NQ finally give up. As long as the S&Ps is holding below overnight highs, you still have follow through towards the downside, probably towards VWAP. Most roads from that extreme pull back towards the VWAP, and that's why I like to use it as a target. And then also I was mentioning up here, this, if you rewind the stream or if you just got here and you haven't been around, I talked about how a lot of the times if we breach a previous day level here, right, this level right here, when I talked about this short where I took my entry and got filled and took that exit there for that full profit on the day, I talked about if you're one of those people who likes to hold a little bit longer or are looking for those ultimate entries for time of day for the move to kind of return the other direction or continue or start a trend, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a breach of a key structure level from the day before. And then you need to tell yourself, if it does this, if it continues on and accepts into previous day levels, previous day highs, or outside of previous day highs, does it need to do something to make it continue on? The news that we got there was home sales have been diminishing, like down a lot, and it popped, right? It went up on bad news. If it fails this level on that bad news, then it should continue down. Then you have the idea of, okay, if we don't accept through highs, price wants to go where it needs to continue, right? So, all right, we're not going to expand. We're not going to have an expansionary. We're not going to have an expansionary day. We're not going to get above yesterday's highs. We're going to return back towards the mean, which is VWAP. Once you get back to VWAP and you start to approach, does it want to expand back the other direction? Does it want to get to previous day lows and create new lows and then expand to the downside? You could get the same failure at the downside and say, okay, it's going to be an inside day, right? We're going to end on the inside. Or it can continue down, right? You get the true breakout and then a true rotation. Or you get that pullback in and you end somewhere within yesterday's range, right? That's how you have to think about trades. If you are going to hold like longer term ideas, I think for the most part, that's really what you should be looking for, more than just like, I'm going to scalp this because of it looks good at this, one spot here. The reason I play the levels that I do is because it's an extreme for the day. It was an extreme for the day before. That's where sellers stepped in and never returned back to. I mean, that's where sellers stepped in and buyers never came back to push it back over that level. Same thing on the other side. If it's at the bottom, sellers disappeared at that level and the buyers stepped in and just kept keeping it up, right? So at these extremes, you're going to expect similar reactions. And then you're going to say, okay, is it going to make a new level or is it not going to make new levels? Is it going to try and search for that new higher level, or is it going to stay range bound, stay within the other days and try and just seek price discovery during those times, right? And then using the other names, right? Like NVIDIA, like Microsoft, a lot of times they're getting to key structure levels when you're also at these extremes. So you can use those to your advantage, the confluence equaling confidence, right? Confluence equaling confidence, and making those good decisions to kind of push you in one direction or the other. Hopefully that makes sense. Am I rambling a bit? Dow Jones has re-entered into the opening range. Russell's entered and broke above opening range. NQ has been the relatively strong name, so it has held us up. Now that you see the Russell pushing up higher and higher and higher, you may start to get flows out of the Mag 7 names and into these small cap names, with the Russell kind of just going straight upside. Overall, like I said, really good trading session for me on seeing these movements, understanding the dynamics of what I'm looking for. Thanks to Ray, I adjusted my previous day high level to being where it should be because it switched on me. And then I was able to capitalize on that move once again. If you're on YouTube, hit the like, hit that subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Help me out a little bit on the YouTube. On Tradecaster, we have a nice, good conversation going at always, all the time over here. So if you are on YouTube, get over to Tradecaster, make a free membership. If you want to buy a membership, get access to some of the paid features of the Tradecaster account, you use code POLICINGPIPS, and it gets you 10% off all of the membership options that they have here. I think it's really worth it. We do call out pretty good trades time and time again. And then you get options from trading equities, futures, options, all the way through. There's something for everybody. Scalping, swing trading. Obviously you get access to deck if you pay. So that's all fun and games here. It's all about just finding where your home's going to be and sticking with it. Do like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. We're up 1,600 on this one, 450, 500 on the other one. Gonna pretty much call it a day there for my executions. Obviously, I'm locked out here. We are just shy of getting back into this XFA once again. I'm not gonna force anything in tomorrow, especially with the funeral, especially with work and stuff like that. I would like to maybe get on early, try and catch something within that first little couple minutes. If not, if I don't see an opportunity, I'm not going to just do it just to pass, right? I need to have something that's going to set me up, make good decisions, because I've been here before where I'm that close and I've max drawn down because all I need is $80. I'll just let it ride for $80, and then what do you know? It's down $1,000 before you could even think about it, right? So don't do dumb shit. Focus on what you're doing, no matter how far or how close you are to an arbitrary target number. Yes, obviously you have to get it to get your account, but at the end of the day, if you do everything correctly, they'll come with the proper functions, right? So you can see our account balance over this past week, we're up just shy of 3,000. 55216, right? Obviously, we want to make about 1500 on these, so it pushes my profit target just up a little bit. Your best day can't be more than 50% of the account balance. I will see what happens tomorrow with whatever I get, right? So 1600 times 2 is 3200. So I got to make 32. Probably got to make $200 tomorrow. Anybody looking at any opportunities here or looking for, what you're seeing in these markets? Microsoft found support at 420 again. It is rotating back up above there. Nvidia looking also sort of, like I said, it's going to stay. I think Nvidia stays range bound today more than it expands in the downside. Do I think there's enough strength to push it through the highs? Potentially, but I think it more so stays within this range. So I drew out these arrows. These are areas where I called out shorts. Short here, short here, short here. If you capitalized on it, great. If not, look to see why. This also looks like a good opportunity here for another short. You could have mitigated your risk from 610 down, and been at even already. If you're somebody who's quick snapping, right? I dig it. If you have to practice, if you feel like you need that chart time, if you haven't been enough on charts enough, sometimes practicing walking away is even better than practicing actual executions. I get where you're coming from as far as where you want to see more market conditions, more stuff. If you're getting tired, I think there's something that I kind of preached within the boot camp that I haven't really kind of gone over too much. I mean, obviously, don't do dumb shit, extreme accountability, but write down those dumb shit things that you may do. Write down those tilt feelings that you feel. Write down your physical emotions, your physical cues for tilt. Write down those things that may indicate when your body is telling you maybe we're into a pressure situation that we probably shouldn't be in, right? Obviously, on practice accounts, you're not going to get those tilty feelings. You're not going to get that heat in your head. You're not going to get the sweaty palms as much. You're not going to really have that because it's not. There's no actual repercussions from it, right? So my biggest thing that I kind of talked about is you cannot control your emotions. It's impossible. You cannot control your physiological response to stressors, but you can control how you react to those indicators, right? So the more you practice controlling the way you react or whatever comes of your emotional state, that reaction of what you decide to do and your extreme accountability on what you decide to do according to how your body's reacting is how you're going to become better and better and better, is because you're going to be able to improve on those things, right? Right now, if I notice that my hands are getting sweaty or my head gets hot or I'm starting to, shake my legs a bunch, I know that I'm starting to get into that tilt mode where maybe things are not going the way I want it to go. Yeah, this is true. Absolutely. And then also, like I said, practicing walking away is a very hard thing to do as well, right? If you got to a point today where I'm up 10,000 on my practice account, it's the highest, amount that I've ever gotten to on this account. I've made all these really good executions. What kind of price action am I going to see the rest of the day? Yeah. No, like I said, I think the more you practice it, it does help, especially when you're switching platforms or kind of getting back into a groove. It's all helpful. Just understanding yourself and noting everything that you can possibly note from what you're learning in these accounts is key. Oh, wow. Very heavy tilt long. I would be cautious if you are long. Super heavy tilt to the long side. 85% of retail within Top Step is long. The NQ currently slightly diverged from that S&P. S&P's up only 70% long on the tilt. So could see a little bit continuation, but then watch out for that 88% long. Ooh, that's interesting. Let's see if it plays out the way it potentially could right now, where this snaps up 88% long and then rips those shorts. Watch for that. There it is. There's that pullback from that 88%. If it cracks down below 610, like I said, anything below 610 to me is bearish. If we breach 610, there could be some sellers that come in there, but that long tilt dissipated. It went from 88% down to 78% real quick. So that snap down probably shook out a lot of those longs, and then maybe kind of continue on. I would just be. I'm in the boat of this kind of chop continues, and maybe you could play this range on both ends for a little bit of time. Microsoft also at the high end of like a bull flag type thing, but also could rotate off of it and rotate back down to 419, 420 again. So that is a thought that I'm thinking through there. If it does breach above this high of 421 ish, then potentially it goes. Nvidia just did a little snap down and then just sat here at 121. The more you can desensitize yourself to the trade ideas, the trade movements, and just let them do their thing, and without regard to dollar amount or without regard to account size or whatever. Like once you can detach from that, and just let the trade that you believe is going to go down, and you just manage it the way you know how to manage it. That's when you become a lot better. I think realistically, it's just when you're so attached to it, it's very difficult to let it actually trade and do your thing and let your analysis play out. And I'm guilty of it. Absolutely guilty of that. 9:30 here. The market's been open an hour. We caught that the best trade of the day for me just after 9 o'clock. Saw that number come out. Saw the failed break up over and into that 80s, 677 area that I was talking about. Once we failed that level and previous day highs, got that rotation, that direction. Still could this could be the line in the sand. But like I said, over 610 is that bullish sign. So if you start holding 610, you start to push up, that's going to give you that bullishness. Anything below 610, you're getting that selling. So you can kind of play that zone a little bit. Not if it's not going to hold, right? If it's going to fail 610, that's when the bears step in. There is good potential for this to kind of play. Let's see. calling out solid trades here, day in and day out. Hopefully you guys can appreciate the attention to detail that I kind of bring out. I want to be as helpful as possible. So if you have any questions or anything that you want me to kind of go through or go over during this in-between time, you let me know. Or even like if there's something you want me to really start to hammer home a bit, if there's times of the day where I'm a little bit quiet or we have not a lot going on, you let me know, because I think there's a lot to offer when it comes down to it. I think trading is just about trying to find who you are as a person and then just leveraging that, right? It's hard to do this alone and without somebody kind of checking up on you here and there. So I think I try to be as honest as possible. I try to keep everybody on their toes, and if you can appreciate that, I appreciate you coming in every single day. I know Jofi came in to say what's up. I know he's not trading because he's got his new account waiting to come in and trade September, where the markets are going to be fun and more liquid leading into that rate cut. Like I said, I think we get above 760. We start to push into all-time highs into the 18th. So the 18th is next 2 Wednesdays from now. 4th, 17th, 18th. 3 Wednesdays from now. So it has 3 weeks to get to all-time highs to be sold like a buy the rumor, sell the news. What's this account at? This one's at 50. Short and gold. I like it. I like shorts all around at the moment. I think this range breaks down. I think if 610 goes, then we go downside. I'm going to take it on this other account, see what happens with it. If it gets through. Microsoft holding 420, that's the only concern. But I think this does kind of want to break, give us that next leg to the downside, push into it. I'll take one off at 79 and then try and get one at even pretty quickly. Well, I'll get to even and see if I can get one off. If it goes this time, it should go fast. That's where I would like to see the heaviness come in. But NVIDIA is still showing that strength a little bit, slightly. S&P is holding that previous day high. NVIDIA looking to turn down. See if Microsoft will turn down. I'll try this one if it goes. We locked out that other account. We're going to see if this account will catch one more little piece of the pie and then be totally done for the day. There is a chance that this snaps upside, but I would like to try and catch a little, like I said, a little piece to the downside here from 606 to, I should probably be over 80, honestly. Right at 81.50. Oh, there's NVIDIA pushing upside, Microsoft pushing upside, buying it straight up into that previous day high. Like I said, anything that holds above 610, bullish. If it breaks below 610, bearish. I did not get the break below, so I did not get entered. a break and hold below, right? I'm still just waiting here patiently. If it doesn't come back this way, it's going to be a long break up to 760, and then the decision making happens at 760. If you break high of day, that's if you break the high day. If this is just going to come in and reject that previous day high, then so be it. But it looks like it wants to expand. It wants to get strong here. This could be that manipulation. I like the gold ideas. Like I said, I'm gonna try and start including gold in my analysis and stuff like that. I'm just I have a very decent relationship with Nasdaq and the S&Ps and the equity side. I think that there is ability to kind of expand my horizons, and once I'm able to do this a little bit more full time, where I can just be maybe just streaming all day, or after stream get on and finish the day off with gold, or or have some overnight strategy with gold, or work on oil as well. I would like to start dabbling in some of those, maybe gas, um, even cattle. I don't hate it. Yeah, when there's no opportunity in the Nasdaq, when I don't see what I want. If I see like a really trendy day where I don't really play trendy days, great. I don't play breakouts, great. Then maybe switching over to oil, switching over to gold, switching over to natural gas could be good opportunities. Definitely not much for me left. If that's the case, if I'm going to decide to just go ahead and lock out all of these accounts, I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of my day. Today is my Monday at work. So I will be getting myself prepared, taking care of some coffee business in between, go over to work, and then come back. Like I said, tomorrow I won't be on because of the funeral services. Um, all the focus deserves to be respected over there. So, and then Monday I'll try and be on. The markets are going to be closed early, so we're going to see if we get any opportunities very early in the session. It also will depend on if I have an XFA or not. I mean, if both of these are passed, then potentially I will not be trading. But if I need to, pass one of these, I may be on. But I will post that in the weekly write-up. If you need to find that weekly write-up before you come into our chat on Monday, I post it every Sunday night when I get home from work. I usually get home late. Try to get it posted by midnight Central Time, so you guys can have it when you either wake up, or if you're up, you want to read through it quick on Sunday night. Follow me on Instagram at Policing Pips, or go to daytradingcoffeeco.com. You'll find the write-ups there. It's always going to be in the same spot in that education tab, so you can go in there, find it, set it as your favorite, and click that education tab, and then you'll be able to find it there. So make sure you go over to that spot in the here, click education. All of the write-ups will always be here. If you want to review anything, don't be afraid to get in there and click over that. Like I said, I think it helps me out. If you want to go into any of those and do any sort of something like that for yourself. If you have any questions about how I go about like just every single day, the same kind of structure, the same kind of outlook, figuring out market direction, figuring out market sentiment, I could always go through that with you. Just there's a form at the bottom. If you want me to include anything, let me know. I have done gold a couple times for a few people, but I didn't do it last week because I was a little bit rushed trying to get it out. For me, if this starts to accept and get over the highs, I'm no longer interested in any more trades for the day. Personally, I think up into 760 makes some sense if we start to squeeze through here, squeeze through 700. If it does want to become rotational, NVIDIA just did run its head up into a 122.29, which is one of my structure levels that I have for NVIDIA for a longer term entry. So just noting NVIDIA for that rejection there. Also, Microsoft looking like it broke through that high there, that previous high. So we are making higher lows and now higher highs. If it does pull back, watch to see if it breaches that low. If not, if it continues on, 422.51 does make sense to me. As we see this kind of playing out here, breaking through, trying to push up into 700, still has not got there. I do think that there is some size sitting there at 700, which just pulled back off of that. There's 693. There's a 30 contract just lingering there. Delta snapped up and then failed and started to get some aggressive sellers. So you do see some sellers coming in right at value area high, just in front of 700. So people front running 700 potentially. Could we breach through it this time? It does feel a little stronger than previously noted. I think potentially, as long as NVIDIA doesn't completely reject 122.30, then this continuation stair-stepping action happens. Like I mentioned, it is August. It is summer months. It's the last week of the summer. People have probably made their money already today, and they're looking to start to fade out of this market. If they're going to start to catch bids and stuff, whatnot, it may just slow grind all the way up for the remainder of the day. You may get some snaps here and there, but you are not getting the true market participants playing right now, especially leading into a holiday weekend. Tomorrow will be some data. You already got the news that you wanted to get was yesterday with NVIDIA earnings. It was a kind of, even though it was snappy, even though it sold off, everything has been recovered, and now we're kind of just in the middle of, all right, that hype is gone, so it's fizzled out. The bigger players are probably now either positioning for longs or just out of the market entirely. It looks like Microsoft still making new highs on this break above here. NVIDIA looking like it wants to break 122.36, push up over 122.50. If that's the case, stays bullish, pushes up to 19.760. So eyeball that level there. I'm going to go use the restroom. I'll be right back. If you guys have any questions, type it in the chat. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm also going to get more coffee. I haven't had enough. Okie dokie, I'm back. Welcome back. Yeah, please. The Nutella one's good. All right, I'm still looking to see what we got going on here. I'm gonna stay on till I'll stay on for a little bit longer today, maybe 10:15, 10:30. We have locked out. You can see all the combines I have going on right now. These two are the leaders currently. Obviously, should be able to get past tomorrow or within one or two more sessions. Just shy of $90 away, probably, plus today's a little bit bigger of a win, so they'll probably make me make $200 more. But relatively speaking, if I lose $100 today, I'm still $180 out. So technically, I have to make $200 tomorrow anyway, so keep the money. Take the money and run. NVIDIA is just lingering around that price point at 122.38. We are at previous day highs, still not wanting to make this new high. This support level here seems to be reactive. This red trend line. Microsoft playing with that 42020. Now looking to push into 420. It looks like NVIDIA may want to sell from here. This could lead to a nice push down. Like I said, 610 is that point of interest for me. I like that. I drew that white line up there because I wanted you guys to note it. This is that gap, that white line to white line from the contract. Obviously, we've been filled and we've been in and out of here. But these are the two levels where I find very reactive, very interesting, where if it holds below 610, it tends to rotate down to the lower end. If it holds above 760, it usually pushes out and then acts as support that way. So in between here is a lot of no man's land type action. Could it snap up to 677 like it has two times? 19,697, 77 here, 97 here. It's kind of like dancing around that 77 area as well. So see what happens with NVIDIA rolling from this high. There's a good chance that this high becomes the next point of rotation back to the downside, which could lead us down. NQ is still directly correlated to NVIDIA today. It seems like the price action's there. Microsoft has been relatively strong and it's held us up. The other names have been also relatively strong. The YM and the Russell both seemed relatively weak in the beginning and then picked up strength. Right now, they pulled back a little bit, but the last few minutes have been starting to get stronger again. There are just, limited. This is not great price action for you, but you can start to see it winding up, tightening up, potentially looking to make a choice on it, on a direction here shortly. Deck making 844. We're out here. Everybody in this chat trying to make good decisions, trying to make good choices out here, making good profits. I like that we had Zuka-san come in, say, honestly, talk about his mistakes, and then be able to go back green and then make the good choice of locking out, securing his gains for the day, and then moving on and doing whatever else he needs to do for the day. Same with Abby, just working her practice account. Really good job. I think everybody out here just doing the right things to kind of make yourself better day in and day out. And that's really what this whole grind is about. It's about doing better every single day, grinding it out, grinding it out, grinding it out, making progress, and seeing where other things come from. All right, my delivery driver here comes in with the banana bread at work, dude. We're now after 10 o'clock here. It's 10:02 a.m. Central Time, 11 Eastern. Wherever you are in the world, time is different. But for me, I'm going to just reference that 10 o'clock number. This is about the time where usually I won't, like if I'm not in it, a trade, or if I'm not seeing a setup quite yet, a lot of times that hour between 10 and 11, I usually don't get anything. And it waits till about 11 for me to get a good setup. Right now, we are at key levels. So it would make sense for a decision to kind of be made, but at the same time, it could just chop. I've also made $1,600 on one really good execution, so I'm not really concerned. We have our short squeeze espresso here, really making sure that if it's going to squeeze, we're ready for it. All of my coffees are freshly roasted on order, so you're never getting that stale supermarket coffee. I do custom K-Cup orders for people, so I am the one packing and all that whatnot. But all of the K-Cups, if you do order K-Cups, the grinds are freshly ground. Everything is still whole bean, comes, and I grind it up and I package each one individually. So you're getting fresh K-Cups. You're not getting those, like I said, those stale, over-charred, over-roasted, and whatever they are that are sitting on the shelves at the supermarket for you. So if you do like that, if you want to do K-Cup orders, you could put one in through me and let me know, and I will do any blend you want. But right now on the website, it only shows the scalpers. I recommend that because K-Cups do dilute the strength of coffee no matter what. I like your short 650 tight stop loss. Let's see how that plays out. What's a tight stop? I mean, really don't talk. You're managing a position. You're a scalper. The only issue I have is Microsoft's at its low of this like consolidated range. It may have a little bit into it downside, which could help you, which is good. All right, we're good. We're still good. Look at that. Nice little quick little flush there. You're up 15 points, 10 points. I think if it cracks this, so you took, oh, you got out. I think it's still good. I mean, you're still safe. I wouldn't re-enter down here, but you crack this low, you should shoot to 610. Abby, are you using hotkeys? Are you able to get in and out with hotkeys, or are you clicking and dragging? I feel like the way you trade, based on just the way you're typing out things, you would benefit from hotkeys. Holy, like you'll be way quicker. You'll be able to get in, get out, move stops. I think you should definitely start to consider hotkeys, especially in NinjaTrader. NinjaTrader has a lot better functionality with some of the hotkeys. You could say, okay, instead of going to even, you can go to even plus 1 point. You can go to even plus 10. Go halfway. You can mark it out. You can limit out. I think so. I know you have, even though you think that you could be quicker with your mouse. I learned this lesson when I was trading with T3 on the professional desk. Those hotkeys, especially equities wise, I mean, it made all the difference. You did everything with your keyboard. I switched tickers. I literally never used my mouse when I was trading on Lightspeed. Just like the speed and the ability on a key pad is not, you just don't have to think as much. You're able to just be, once you know your keys and you get a good rhythm for it, that's something I think you should try and practice within that practice account. I think you'll find that you're much quicker, especially since you're so scalpy. If you're like, all right, I'm going to go with momentum. I'm looking for a break here. I'm going to go either limit in, market in, whatever I'm going to do with it. I'll click that button, get it going. As it moves in my favor, you could just be eyes on the target, not worried about if the mouse slips off that key or not, and just go click, click, click. Just give it a shot. I think you should really, give it a week if you're going to do a practice trading, and just, you're going to make mistakes with it early on, especially if you don't remember what the keys are. And yeah, I think so. I don't even do that as far as like so obvious. I do hotkeys with, so my keyboard, I have one of those mechanical keyboards, but it has G keys on the side. The G keys you can program to be whatever combination of buttons you want. So you go into the keys. You could even get a Stream Deck. I know some people use Stream Decks and they set up hotkeys on Stream Decks. They do it on Magic Keys. Magic Keys work. You could do so my hotkeys for my, what's it called? My OBS for where I swing it around. Yeah, they let you, but if you want to click a button, like a very specific button that doesn't, so you don't have to look down and say S, C, Q. I have a little sticky that I put on the G keys so I remember which one is which. It just says sell, says buy, and I just place it on top of the key. Yeah. Control A. Yeah, no, that's how hotkeys work. So I would just go control, or if you want to do it that way where it's control 1 for a buy, control 2, control 3, something like that. My control keys change my screens. So control 2 gets me the NVIDIA chart, control 8 gets me Microsoft, control 1 gets me back to a regular screen. So I have hotkey. The reason for streaming and hotkeys kind of clashing. So I did it when I was messing around with these the other day. I was trying to do hotkeys. I was trying to switch screens, and apparently one of them corrupted. So then I was entering trades while I was switching, even though I didn't want to do that. So just be mindful, especially if you're streaming. I don't think you're streaming currently, but yeah. I use the numbers. Yeah, so if you think, all right, control 1 is buy, control 2 is sell, or or keep them far apart. Control 1 is buy, control 8 is sell, or something like that. Just little things like that really will help you. If you want to add contract size, or say you want to get in with 2 contracts, 4 contracts, you could say, control 4 gets me in with 4, and then I can control 8, drop that down by 2 so I could take 2 off, right? And just be mindful of that. I learned a lot from that pro desk when I was in T3, and the pro traders in there that talk about hotkeys and how they're just hammering it, and you could hear them on the desk just kind of clicking, and it's never a mouse. It's always that keyboard sound, and they're in, they're out. They say, oh, I'm in, tier 1, tier 2. You could up your tier size, which in the prop desk is how many shares you're, I'm going to do full tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 size. That'll up your account, how many shares you're getting in Apple, how many shares you're getting in NVIDIA, whatever you're doing at that time. And with the hotkeys here, I'm trying my best to implement them, right? If I wanted to go, let's call it short on this here. Let's see if I have it set up right now. Let's see. I'll wait. There's a huge thunderstorm once again outside. It is Houston. I'm going to stay on here until about 10:30, and then I'm going to hop off a little early. I'm not trying to get, stuck on this screen all day if I don't have to be. Like I said, it's my Monday at work, so I do like to get some things done prior to getting there. Unfortunately, tomorrow I won't. I do like the sell below previous day highs here, but at the same time, I think it could be a trap. Across the two accounts, we're up $2,000 on the day, so that's a nice little thing. Yeah, I agree. I think that right now, there's usually some opportunity right around that 10:30 when that Euro close comes. You're going to get some snappy behavior right around that close when the Europeans go to bed or whatever they're doing and going to the pubs. I think realistically, you just gotta be patient through here and then be done. Like I said, through August is a tough month to trade. The summer months are tough to trade. This has been a little interesting this summer compared to some other years, but it's still lower volume, still kind of whippy behavior that is slightly less follow through on a lot of things. So recognizing that for next summer when you come out here to trade, noting that, June, July, August is going to be difficult to trade. I did really well in July and I did really poorly in August, where it kind of balances themselves out. Come September, October, November, December, that last 4 months is usually why I end up, that's the profitable months right there. So if you can get yourself into a position, get yourself funded, get your accounts ready, you're going to have those rate cuts, probably more than one, I would guess. With those rate cuts, I think you'll get some extreme greed. I think you'll get some extreme fear coming in as it sells off from the kind of buy the rumor, sell the news type idea. And that's the reason I think with NVIDIA already reporting that this has a tendency to push up. I think it doesn't really want to go down. That news is gone. That pullback is kind of done with. And I think if we keep moving forward, 760 should push us back up into those areas of where buying comes back in. 2K is amazing. I'm greedy, which is why I end up losing and overtrading. Yeah, it does. Overtrading hurts. You can see I only took 3 trades today, and they were all these 1, 2, 3. That was it. I broke even on that one. I took that one, this first one on this account, right? Made 340 on that, and then we ended up taking the short from this high here. Took this short, broke even, took this short, and made the trade of the day, right? So I could have actually been done here, but I waited again and executed appropriately. There's a chance I lose power coming into 10:30 here when the weather gets this poor outside and the lightning gets wild. I tend to not be able to maintain power very well. It'll come back on, but you probably will lose me. So I think I'm going to cut off. Last time my building got struck by lightning and it fried out my computer and I had to do the whole new thing. So I had to rebuild another computer and it's sitting under my desk still kind of in pieces, and the other one's behind me in pieces. So I have a thing. So I'm going to hop off now to preserve my computer capital. I appreciate everybody coming by. I thank you so much. Like I said, tomorrow we will be at a funeral for our old chief. Great guy. Deserves all the respect in the world. So I will be there, supporting him and his family. So I won't be on stream. Monday, remember, is a holiday shortened day. So if we are trading, it's going to be low volume. It's going to be that first, Labor Day weekend type trading. So either don't trade or be off early. I will be on in the morning, and then we'll kind of discuss how the rest of the week will play out. I will do my write-up Sunday night. Until then, I don't want to lose my internet. I don't want to lose my power. I want to get off on a positive note. So I appreciate everybody. I'll talk to you all later. Peace out.